Welcome to the 8 o'clock news of the Delta Television, the People's Pride. Happy Easter, y'all. My name is Princess Modi. The federal government says it has resolved the technical problems related to the uploading of the National Identification Number, NIN, for participants in the Presidential Conditional Grant Program, also known as the Trade Grant Scheme. The Presidential Conditional Grant Program is an initiative directed at nano businesses under the Presidential Palliative Program. The scheme offers a grant of 50,000 naira per beneficiary, aiming to support 1 million nano businesses across the 774 local government areas. According to the Minister of Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka Anite, the scheme, which was scheduled to start on March 9, faced delays because of technical difficulties in uploading applicants' NIN to the initiative's portal. The minister said, given the latest update on the grant program, all technical issues had been resolved, even as she thanked the applicants for their patience. As Christians celebrate the victory of life over death, exemplified by the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, President Bola Tinubu has said Nigeria will triumph over its challenges. President Tinubu, in a statement, thanked Nigerians for making sacrifices for the past term of his administration, affirming his commitment to steering the nation on a path of recovery and sustainable growth. He joined the Christian faithful to commemorate Easter, which he described as a significant moment and a glorious celebration of the triumph of life over death. The president noted that the sacrifice of Jesus Christ for humanity was an emphatic lesson for leaders and urged Nigerians to yield to selflessness and compassion and be steadfast in the pursuit of a united, peaceful, and prosperous nation. He commended citizens for the sacrifices they had made in the past few months for the nation to be steered to the path of recovery and sustainable growth, assuring all that the seeds of patience that they had sown were beginning to sprout and will in no time bring forth an abundance of good fruits. As Christendom celebrates Easter to mark the resurrection of Jesus Christ, Christians have been admonished to live in the hope of eternity as the basis of the Christian faith. The Archdeacon of the St. Philip's Anglican Church, West End, Asaba, Venerable Felix Okonkwo, gave the advice at today's Easter service of the church. Violet Monye reports.
Venerable Okonkwo said, the bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ was the center of Christian faith because Christ rose from the dead as promised, adding that the implications of Jesus' resurrection gave credibility to his words and proved that he was truly the Son of God and had authority over sin and death.
The resurrection of Jesus, death and resurrection of Jesus, makes Christianity different from every other religion.
Similarly, the senior pastor of the Dominion Faith Bible Church, Ifan Jesus Asaba, Reverend Mighty Okonkwo, who spoke on the topic divine visitation, said there was no help in man but in Christ, citing the significance of Easter as God himself coming down to help man.
An event that tells us that man is dead and only the Creator, who is the generator of life, will give him life. Easter is God giving man an opportunity to live.
The senior pastor of the Rema City International Reconciliation Church, Okpanam Asaba, Pastor Norbert Imala, in a sermon enjoined clergymen to be spiritually conscious of their calling, adding that every calling of God was a higher calling, and urging them to be workers of God and not of men.
You are called as an evangelist, you are called as a pastor, as an apostle, as a teacher. Every calling of God is a high calling. I mean a high calling, you are called to take charge of a territory.
At the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Celebration Parish, Nevisi Road, Asaba, the pastor in charge, Pastor Emmanuel Chukura, said the sins of Christians had been washed away by the resurrection of Jesus Christ, urging all to live righteously.
If our sin is forgiven,
we are justified before God. It gives Christians a tremendous hope.
Some worshippers bear their minds on the significance of Easter.
Then Jesus Christ didn't die and resurrect today, there wouldn't have any hope for Christians.
Of Jesus means a whole lot, and his resurrection covers all. It simply shows that there is Christ, and he's alive, he's risen, and right there in heaven.
Violet Moyi reporting.
The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Imomotimi Guwo, has enjoined Christian faithfuls to continue to uphold the true essence of Easter in their daily lives. In a message through his Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Nkem Weke, Honorable Guwo stressed the need for Christians to reflect on the import of the celebration by exhibiting sustained love and willingness to sacrifice for the good of others, while noting that the admonition had become necessary due to the prevailing disconnect among people in terms of true love, mutual respect, and genuine affection for one another. The Speaker said Christ demonstrated his love even when not appreciated. He pointed out that the absence of these three elements were capable of endangering sustainable peace, unity of purpose, and development in the society. Describing Easter as a period of sober reflection and genuine reconciliation with God, Honorable Guwo charged believers to always draw near to God. He said though the country was going through a myriad of challenges which bordered largely on the economy and security, it behoved all, especially Christians, to remember the country in their collective and individual prayers, particularly at this period of Easter. Similarly, the State Head of Service, Mr. Reginald Bayoko, has extended heartfelt felicitations to the dedicated workforce of the state, reminding them of the very essence of Easter. Mr. Reginald Bayoko, in an Easter message, said Easter was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a time when believers celebrated rebirth, renewal, and the triumph of light over darkness. He said, just as Easter taught the people to rise above and seek light in the midst of darkness, workers had all demonstrated a strong commitment to the progress and well-being of Delta State, adding that their dedication, resilience, and spirit of unity were the very foundations upon which the state thrived. Mr. Bayoko, while lauding public servants in the state for their commitment to the growth and development of the state, admonished them to remember the power of hope, the strength, and the boundless possibilities of renewal of the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ offered to mankind, expressing optimism that the celebration of Easter would inspire workers in the state towards attaining new heights of achievements and to continue working together for the prosperity of Delta State. He stressed that, together, workers were building a legacy of progress, unity, and resilience. The head of service saluted political leaders in the state, particularly Governor Sheriff Oborowari, for his leadership vision and goodwill, adding that the Oborowari administration was dedicated to the welfare of the workers and to the advancement of the state. He prayed for the joy, peace, and blessings of Easter on workers, Deltans, and all Nigerians. The Chief Executive Officer of the State Orientation Bureau, Dr. Latimer Ogenesive, has appealed to working journalists in the state to partner the Oborowari administration in the advocacy for the beautification and cleanliness of cities in the state, saying that dirty environment constituted health hazards. Dr. Ogenesive's appeal, contained in a statement today, was in reaction to an online report which took a swipe at the management of the Delta State Capital Territory Development Agency under the leadership of Chief Patrick Uka for taking appropriate measures to ensure that citizens perform their civic responsibilities. He said no responsible, and result-oriented government will fold its hands and watch streets littered with refuse, pointing out that it had been and still was the responsibility of citizens to properly dispose their refuse in designated areas or points for collection by the State Waste Management Board or its agents. Dr. Ogenesive, who is also the Executive Assistant on Communication Strategy to Governor Sheriff Oborowari, faulted the report of the online newspaper which alleged that penalties for improper disposal of refuse was a deliberate attempt by the state government to further make life difficult for the people, pointing out that there was no legal or moral justification for citizens not to keep their environment clean. He noted that even in the Western world or developed nations, government did not provide waste bins for citizens in their homes or offices free because such provisions, where they existed, were already inbuilt in multifaceted taxes and other deductions by government, whereas citizens in Delta State were not subjected to ridiculous taxes paid by individuals in advanced democracies. Dr. Ogenesive disclosed that realistic reforms as encapsulated in the moral agenda of Governor Sheriff Oborowari entailed a paradigm shift from a disease-prone environment to a healthy Delta, where health hazards could not rear their ugly heads. He said all hands, including those of the media, must be on deck to support the good intentions of the State Capital Territory Development Agency to do the needful and to ensure that all offices and homes in the state were kept clean, while deviants were made to face the consequences of their actions or inactions. The need for individuals that has succeeded in their endeavor to properly document their memoir for generations to learn from was brought to the fore at the 60th birth anniversary and the public presentation of the autobiography of Chief Clement Ofwani. The chairman on the occasion and former governor of Kaduna State, Senator Ahmed Makarfi, said it was important for people to put down their achievements and life experience into documentation for others to read and learn. Senator Makarfi, while felicitating with Chief Clement Ofwani on his 60th birth anniversary, described him as a visionary man who has contributed to the development of his community, state, and country at large, while also noting that the book, From My Governor, which was about the experience of the celebrant, will go a long way to help generations unborn. In his remarks, the former governor of the state, Chief James Ibori, paid glowing tributes to Chief Ofwani for his vital role as a member of his cabinet during his tenure as governor. Chief Ibori noted that Chief Ofwani was a detribalized man who had and was still contributing to the development of the state. The celebrant said Chief Clement Ofwani, in his address, said the writing of his memoir was a result of several experiences prompting from friends and associates to share his experience in the public service. Chief Ofwani revealed that he narrated a number of seemingly random events in his life journey. There were goodwill messages from friends and colleagues of the celebrant, including a former governorship aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, Olorogu David Edebie. The book, titled From My Corner, was reviewed by Mr. Chuma Nwokolo. The ceremony featured the cutting of the birthday cake and the official public presentation of the book. Chief James Onanefe Ibori has tasked South-South leaders to be apostles of fiscal federalism and an unfinished business. Chief Ibori stated this at the 24th anniversary of the South-South Governors, Legislators, and Leaders Summit in Asaba. He said the enrollment of true fiscal federalism is a higher calling that they must respond and take charge of on behalf of and for the benefits of the people. Speaking on the theme of the first summit, we must not fail our people, Chief Ibori noted that it was presently very important, as it was yesterday, reminding them that despite the mission which gained momentum on Friday, 31st March 2000, and all the associated gains, a lot remained unaccomplished, as well as the new challenges. Chief Ibori, who was Delta State Governor in 1997 to 2007, congratulated the South-South governors, state legislators, and National Assembly members on their elections. He told the South-South governors, including Delta State Sheriff Oborowari, Edo State's Godwin Obaseki, Cross River State's Basi Otu, Akwa Ibom's Umo Eno, Rivers Sim Fubara, and Bayelsa's Doye Diri, that the batons from the three sets of governors before them in the Fourth Republic were firmly in their hands. The former governor pointed out that the baton bestowed on them huge responsibilities beyond infrastructure. The state government says its attention has been drawn to the non-payment of ground rent by landlords and landowners. The government, through the Committee on Ground Rent, has therefore charged landlords and landowners in the state, developed or undeveloped, defaulting in payment of the ground rent to the state government to resume payment immediately. The ground rent is an annual payment due to government on land. Defaulters were given up to today, March 31, to pay up or face revocation of their landed property. A statement signed by the Director of Public Communications, Mrs. Theresa Oliko, has requested those with inquiries or complaints on issues of ground rent payment to direct such inquiries to 0803 200 4672, 0816 4263 469, or 0814 895 4373, or visit the DLAM's Customer Service Desk at the Ministry of Lands and Surveys, Professor Chike Dozian Secretariat, Mariam Babangida Way, Asaba. The online sale of registration forms into any of the 17 model secondary schools in the state has commenced and will end on Friday, July 12. A statement by the permanent secretaries in the Ministries of Primary and Secondary Education, on behalf of their commissioners, Dr. Kingsley Ashibogo and Mrs. Rose Ezewu, has urged interested candidates to apply into JS1, JS2, SS1, and SS2 classes. The statement advised candidates to purchase scratch cards from the field office of the Chief Inspectors of Education, CIEs, to gain access to the registration form online through the ministry's portal, www.deltamobc.net. It noted that scratch cards will be issued to interested candidates on the payment of 3,500 naira at the CIE's office, adding that model schools that were interested in selling scratch cards in their various schools could pick them up from the office of the CIEs in their domain or the examination department of the ministry. The statement explained that the entrance examination would hold on Saturday, July 20, in 21 centers, which include the 17 model schools, the West End Mixed Secondary School, Asaba, Utabogbe Grammar School, Kwale, Hussey College Center 2, Warri, and the Robo College Center 2, Efuru. It stressed that candidates applying for admission into SS1 must possess the Basic Education Certificate or will sit for the 2024 Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE, in addition to a pass in the Cognitive and Placement Examination, while candidates applying for JS2 and SS2 classes must pass the 2024 Promotion Examination in their previous classes, in addition to Cognitive and Placement Certificate and Basic Education Certificate. The statement enjoined candidates to come to the examination hall with original copies of the computer printout and writing materials, including HB pencil. In a related development, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Olayemi Kodoso, has emerged as a central figure in the narrative of Nigeria's economic resilience, especially in the face of the Naira crisis that has tested the fortitude of Africa's largest economy. His tenure, marked by decisive action and strategic foresight, has seen the Naira navigate through turbulent waters, eventually finding a steadier course amidst the economic challenges. The measures implemented under his leadership exemplify a blend of courage, innovation, and deliberate commitment to the economic well-being of Nigerians. Mr. Kodoso's approach to the crisis was multifaceted, addressing both immediate and structural issues with precision and authority, where he tackled the speculation and arbitrage activities that significantly contributed to the Naira's depreciation. He identified and acted against entities such as Binance Nigeria Limited and other unregistered bureau de change operators, cutting off a significant source of pressure on the Naira. This action, alongside the forensic auditing of forex obligations, showcased his resolve to ensure transparency and accountability in the forex market. Moreover, his strategic decision to fulfill legitimate forex obligations to foreign entities and his crackdown on illicit financial flows demonstrated a keen understanding of the importance of international confidence in Nigeria's economic policies. His collaboration with the law enforcement agencies such as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Nigerian police further underscores his comprehensive approach to stabilizing the naira. The partnership has been instrumental in curbing illegal financial activities and restoring order in the forex parallel market. One of the boldest moves by Mr. Kodoso was at the Maiden Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, meeting under his chairmanship in February 2024, raising the monetary policy rate, a benchmark interest rate, to 400 basis points to 22.75.0, 18.75, the asymmetric corridor around the MPR to plus 100 / -700, while the cash reserve requirement, CRR, to 45.0, 32.5, but retained liquidity ratio at 30% signaled a strong commitment to taming inflation and stabilizing the economy. Suffice it to say that the tough measures were necessary to curb the excessive money supply contributing to the country's inflation. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike, has expressed joy that President Bola Tinubu's promise to transform Abuja is turning out successful. Wike stated this in Abuja yesterday after inspecting 6 ongoing projects across the territory. The project sites included the Southern Parkway from Christian Center to Ring Road 1 being handled by Setraco and Vice President's residence being handled by Julius Baja. Other projects visited were B6 and B12 Independence Avenue, also handled by Julius Baja. Wuye Engineering Infrastructure being handled by Arab contractors, and N20 Northern Parkway to Outer Northern Expressway in Jahi District being handled by Gilmore. The minister also inspected the Outer Northern Expressway from Villa Roundabout to Ring Road 1 being handled by CGC. The minister identified non-fulfillment of electoral promises by politicians as a major problem, adding that such actions make the electorates lose confidence. He, however, said that when politicians make promises and fulfill them, it gives the people hope and sense of belonging. He commended Tinubu for the support, adding that the contractors have attested to the fact that funding was not a problem. The minister said the inspection tour took them to Wuye District Engineering Infrastructure, being handled by Arab contractors, noting that they were 95% ready and would soon be handed over. Mr. Wike said that the essence of going to project sites was to ascertain if the contractors were delivering the project according to specification and contract. He reiterated his promise that no project will be abandoned, as all projects will be awarded the finances to fund it. The minister disclosed that he will meet all the contractors next Tuesday to finalize the readiness to complete ongoing projects. He added that he would continue the project inspection on Wednesday to see the level of preparation for handing over of the projects in May. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has ordered the Kaduna State Governor, Mr. Uba Sani, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, and other 35 state governors 1 week ultimatum to provide the loan agreements and spending details of the loans obtained by their states and the FCT. SERAP's requests also included the details and locations of projects executed with the loans amounted to 5.9 trillion naira and $4.6 billion. This was disclosed in a statement signed by the organization's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, a copy of which was made available today to journalists. SERAP urged the state governors and the FCT minister to publish copies of his requests, as it would abreast Nigerians with how their states' governments spent their loans, and also ensure that persons with public responsibilities were answerable to the people for the performance of their duties in the management of public funds. SERAP also urged them to promptly invite the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to investigate the spending of the domestic and external loans obtained by states and the FCT. The organization noted that its request followed the disclosure made by Mr. Sani yesterday while lamenting the huge debt inherited from his predecessor, Nasru El-Rufai, on May 29, 2023. Mr. Sani said the state was left with a few amounts not enough to pay salary, adding that his administration inherited a total of $587 million, 85 billion naira, and 115 contract liabilities from the ex-governor. The organization stated that in the Freedom of Information request dated March 30, 2024, and signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, SERAP said it was concerned with how the country's 36 states and the FCT were allegedly mismanaging public funds, which may include domestic and external loans obtained from bilateral and multilateral institutions and agencies. Meanwhile, the Nigeria's Debt Management Office has said the total public domestic debt portfolio for the country's 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory is 5.9 trillion naira, adding that the total public external debt portfolio is $4.6 billion. The statement noted that some states and the FCT reportedly owe civil servants salaries and pensions, while several other states are borrowing to pay salaries. It added that millions of Nigerians resident in the states and the FCT continue to be denied access to basic public goods and services, such as quality education and health care. The organization shared that it was concerned that the domestic and external loans obtained by states and the FCT are vulnerable to corruption and mismanagement. Still to come, Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. stresses the need to strengthen its coordination on maritime security to combat challenges. Stay with us.
Man, the road is so heavy here, and there's so much traffic. I think we should go squad, huh?
Not a chance. Aisha,
We don't quit, guys. I'll be there.
done.
Two files received.
I'm on my way. Take first right in 50 meters and you're there. Copy that.
Aisha, where are you?
Guess where?
2 minutes, 2 minutes, move! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Runway X.
The future of fashion showcasing.
Very impressive. How did you pull that off?
With Nigeria's top tech talents.
And Glow.
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow with pride.
All right, you're welcome back. A global scene is next as we join our world news desk.
A bus crash in northern South Africa has killed 45 pilgrims traveling from Botswana for Easter festivities last Thursday, with the sole survivor, an 8-year-old girl, currently being treated in the hospital. South African police said 31 female and 15 male Botswanan passengers died in the crash after the driver lost control and collided with barriers on the bridge near Mamatlakala. Report says the bus went over the bridge and hit the ground below, catching fire. Authorities are still coming the scene for more bodies, while the police said in the statements, 34 bodies have been found, only 9 are identifiable. The statement added that all the victims were from the village of Mopolo, near the Botswana capital, Gaborone. Some bodies were burned beyond recognition, while others were trapped inside the debris or stewing about the scene. Authorities have been begin a process to identify and repatriate the remains of the deceased. About 7 persons have been killed in a car bombing which targeted a busy market in northern Syria. Several more were injured in the attack at the town of Azaz in Aleppo province near the Turkish border. It is unclear who carried out the attack in the town, which is run by the pro-Turkish militias fighting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Turkish forces and their proxies control large area of Syria along the border. The two countries share, according to the reports. When the bomb went off, the market was busy with shoppers buying new clothes for their children. The White Helmets, a volunteer rescue group which operates in Syria, said 2 children were among the dead. Footage of the aftermath showed bodies lying on the ground, damaged buildings, and the remnants of a car on fire. However, no group has admitted carrying out the attack. Azaz is home to the Syrian interim government, an opposition group which takes a claim to being the country's legitimate authority. The town has been described by analysts as strategically important in the context of the civil war because of its proximity to the Turkish border and value as a supply route. Bomb targeting crowded civilian areas are not uncommon in Syria's northwest border region, including in Azaz. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos has ordered his government to strengthen its coordination on maritime security to confront territorial integrity and peace disputes with the China escalates. The order was signed last Monday and made public today, does not mention China, but follows a series of bilateral maritime confrontations and mutual accusation over a disputed area of the South China Sea. Belgium claims almost all the South China Sea, a conduit for more than 3 trillion of annual shipborne commerce, as China's claims overlap those of the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. Report says Permanent Court of Arbitration in 2016 said China's claim had no legal basis. The latest flare-up occurred last weekend when China used water cannon to disrupt a Philippine resupply mission to the second Thomas Shaw for soldiers guarding a warship intentionally grounded on a reef 25 years ago. The president vowed on Thursday to implement countermeasures against illegal, coercive, aggressive, and dangerous attacks by China's Coast Guard. His order expands and recognizes the government's Maritime Council, adding the National Security Advisor, Solicitor General, National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, Chief, and the South China Sea Task Force. The order appears to expand the role of the military by naming the armed forces of the Philippines, not just the Navy, among the agencies supporting the council.
All right, back home and in business. Let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
Nigeria now produces crude oil from over 246 fields across the country and operates 188 production stations, according to the federal government. Data obtained in Abuja on Friday from the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, an agency of the federal government, indicated that Nigeria's oil-producing fields had been on the rise since the first commercial oil discovery in the country by Shell Dorsey at Oloibiri, Bayelsa State in 1956. With over 246 producing fields, 2,777 producing streams, 188 production stations, 4 gas terminals, 5 land terminals, 11 floating storage and offloading units, FSOS, 18 floating production storage and offloading, FPSOS, and several other facilities at several stages of development, the country is poised to boost production and enhance energy security. Nigeria has been recording improvements in oil outputs and installation lately as the number of functional oil drilling rigs across the country increased marginally to 16 in February. The report is based on the data from March 2024 monthly oil market report of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Figures released by OPEC indicated that the country's oil rig increased from 15 in January to 16 in February, a development that the industry operators described as significant for the production of crude. An oil rig is a large structure with facility to extract and process petroleum and natural gas that lie in rock formation beneath the seabed. Nigeria, as an oil and gas-rich country, drills crude oil daily from the offshore and onshore sources for export. It earns an 80% of its foreign exchange from oil, hence the number of functional oil drilling rigs across the country is vital. Meanwhile, in the latest NUPRC document obtained on Friday, the Commission noted that given the prevailing security challenges across the country, deliberate protection of oil and gas assets was paramount. It described oil assets as critical, not only for the country's economy, but also for the well-being of its citizens and sustainable development of the nation.
In another development, foreign airlines operating in Nigeria have begun to unlock their low-price fares on Nigeria routes as the Central Bank of Nigeria completes the payment of about $7 billion backlog, which includes over $700 million unremitted ticket revenue. The CBN had about 2 weeks ago announced the completion of payment of $7 billion legacy debt, which included foreign exchange forward contracts among foreign exchange denominated debts. The CBN, however, declared about $2.4 billion of the $7 billion debt invalid, saying it could not be verified due to improper documentation among other infractions. The International Air Transport Association, the trade body representing foreign airlines, said it was yet to verify the clearance of the entire $7 million, but findings yesterday showed that the foreign carriers had begun to unlock their low-price tickets. To maximize their yields, foreign carriers had over 24 months ago blocked their low-price tickets on Nigerian routes, after tickets revenue running to hundreds of millions of dollars became trapped in Nigeria. The developments led to a sharp increase also in the fares on the Nigeria routes became almost unaffordable due to the sharp depreciation of the Naira against the United States dollars, as economy fare on popular destinations such as the Lagos-London route going for over 3 million Naira. The CBN began the gradual clearance of the debts, but the new administration of the Apex Bank later fast-tracked the payment, leading to clearance of major parts of the debt between last year and so far this year. Following the CBN announcement of the clearance of the $7 billion, findings revealed that most of the airlines had released their low-priced fare. The development was confirmed by the chairman of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agents, Mrs. Susan Akporaye. She, however, revealed that virtually all the foreign carriers opened their low fares before the CBN announcement of the payment of the $7 billion about 2 weeks ago, adding that the low fares were opened about 2 weeks before the Apex Bank announcement.
Akporaye said all the foreign airlines have opened all the inventories before the final backlog of Forex was cleared earlier in March. She emphasized that the airlines had been cooperative, but challenges such as unverified transaction caused delay.
Business now to our thought for the day. In times of hardship and adversity, it is natural to feel overwhelmed or disheartened by challenges. However, it is crucial to remember that tough times are often temporary and they pave way for better days ahead. And with that report to conclude the news segment of Dateline, my name is Princess Modi. Have a beautiful evening and enjoy your night's rest. Good evening.